السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
لله الحمد رب السماوات ورب الأرض رب العالمين، وله الكبرياء في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. نحمده تعالى وهو جل وعلا، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله، بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة، فجزاه الله عنا وعن كل المسلمين خيرا. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك النبي الأمي، وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. أما بعد، رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. رب زدني علما والحقني بالصالحين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. My dear respected elders, brothers and sisters and fellow children in Islam, the conversation of faith is boundless. It can be done at any place, at any given time between people of faith. There is no set time or a restricted time frame. Similarly, prayer, salah, it can be performed in any place except a few. الأرض كلها مسجد إلا المقبرة والحمام. According to the words of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the entire earth is a masjid. If you're flying in a plane or you are on a cruise ship in the ocean, if you are on stable land or if you are on the sand, you can pray anywhere except for a graveyard and a bathroom. Prayer can be done at any given time within the specific time frame in various modes and ways. A charity can be either given or received at any time between any two parties, so long each of the two fit the specific criteria. In a similar fashion, fasting can be done voluntarily or through command at any day except 5 specific days by anyone who meets the requirement to do so. But then comes the topic of Hajj, the pilgrimage. It is restricted when it comes to the people. There is restriction when it comes to criteria, restriction of place, restriction of month, restriction of day, restriction of the time. Not all Muslims can perform Hajj at the same time. Fact is, Hajj is not for everyone every year. But the season of Hajj surely is. My dear fellow Muslims, we are currently in the first of 3 consecutive sacred months, known as Ashhur Hurum, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and Muharram. It is for all Muslims sacred. Sins committed in it is more grievous than sins committed outside of this month. For those who are going to Hajj and for those who are not, what can both parties do to benefit from this season that is for one and all? In today's khutbah titled Operation Restoration Sanctity, I want to zone in on one essential and much needed practice. In reference to the Kaaba, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Inna awwala baytin wudi'a lin-nasi lalladhi bi Bakkata mubarakan wa hudan lil alamin. In chapter 3 verse 96, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states, most surely the first house appointed for the benefit of humanity, for mankind, is the one in Bakka, the valley of Bakka, i.e. Makkah. It is blessed and a guidance for the nations. This verse tells us something very unique. Not only is Kaaba the first house or structure on this earth, but the purpose of its erection on this earth is solely for the sake of benefiting humankind. Wudi'a linnas means for the benefit of humankind. The first house, the first purpose is for setting a trend that all houses of Allah need to be a source of benefit. It cannot be anything else otherwise. When the Kaaba is the house of benefit, then all houses of Allah on this earth have to serve as houses of benefit. Regardless if Hajj is on the agenda this year or not, we all need to work towards the restoration of the sanctity of the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that we can collectively benefit while also being a source of benefit for others. For those going to Hajj, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept their Hajj. Ameen. For those intending, may Allah take you soon. Ameen. And for those thinking, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide your thoughts. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. I want to go off topic just for 2 minutes. Brothers and sisters, you are who you are, you have what you have, you've become what you are only because of the grace and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Never forget that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want anything from you. He doesn't even want credit from you. He doesn't want you to give Him credit. But if you do acknowledge Him and you do give thanks, it's good for you. But out of everything that Allah has given you and made you and bestowed upon you and shed His mercy upon you, He asks one thing, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. It is so sad. May our cultures be cursed. The cultures that say, don't go Hajj until you're old. Don't go Hajj until you paid off your mortgage. Don't go Hajj until your children are married. Don't go Hajj until you're so old that you won't commit sin. Cursed be that culture. Allah is saying one thing, come and visit me. I want to see you. وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ. Can you come and see me, Allah is saying. But we have excuses. We have so many excuses. Goes to show how much we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How many excuses are we going to make when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, just come and see me. If you can make it. مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. If you can make it, I'd love to see you. May Allah rectify our ways. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. It is a very sad state in humanity today. This verse always hits me when I talk about it because Allah is with so much love saying, come to me, I want to show you my miracles. I want to bestow upon you my grace. I want you to see my love. Come to my house. But we have every excuse in the book when it comes to going to the house of Allah. When we resent going to Allah's house in Makkah, we will resent going to Allah's house all over the earth. May Allah forgive us. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Going back to our topic of discussion. The sanctity of Allah's house. What do I mean? Let us first see from the angle of a pilgrim. Amongst the many du'as that are written in the books that a pilgrim recites when they go to the Kaaba and they see the Kaaba and they circumambulate the Kaaba, where du'as are accepted. The first sight on the Kaaba, your du'a is accepted. Imagine what du'a you can make. And that is why we train our hujjaj that when you enter the haram, enter with humility. Don't look up at the Kaaba. Go as close as you can and then look up. And when you look up, open your hands, raise your hands and pray to Allah. Your dua is accepted at that moment. But what is the dua written in the books? I want you to reflect on this dua. Allahumma anta as-salam wa minka as-salam fahayyina rabbana bis-salam. Allahumma zid hadha al-bayt. Allahumma zid hadha al-bayt tashrifan wa ta'zima wa takrima wa mahabata wa zid man sharrafahu wa karramahu mimman hajjahu aw i'tamarahu tashrifan wa ta'zima wa takrima wa birra. The dua that's being taught to us isn't for yourself, isn't for your family, isn't for your sins, isn't for your connection. It is, oh Allah, you are peace and from you comes peace. Keep us alive, our Lord, with peace. Oh Allah, increase this house in dignity, honor, nobility and awe. And increase those who perform Hajj or Umrah in dignity, honor, nobility and piety. Subhanallah. The first dua that's recommended to make when you put your eyes on the Kaaba is to pray for the house of Allah. To pray for the dignity and honor and respect of the house of Allah. And that in return, you gain dignity. That in return, you gain honor. That in return, you gain respect. Your respect is only as guaranteed as the respect you give to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he or she as a pilgrim can ask for anything they want, we are told to ask for the sanctity of the house of Allah. Why? Because upholding it is a conscious effort. It means to be both prayed for and upheld in action. Failing to realize this, failing to pray for this, failing to do this will lead to the violation of the place, the people, and the practices. From the hands and the eyes, the thoughts, the intentions, and the ideas. The house of Allah is a sacred space, and sacred spaces should never be violated. Once a sacred space is infiltrated with vice, in action or in intention, it is no longer worthy for the classification of Allah's house. There was an occurrence during the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let me tell you how it went down quickly. The first masjid built in the era of Islam was Masjid Khutbah. Next to it, down the road from it, literally around the block from it, one person made his own masjid. And he then asked the Prophet ﷺ to come and pray at his masjid so he can legitimize it, So he can put the seal of approval. Hey, the Prophet prayed here. It's the masjid. There were people for whom the Prophet ﷺ prayed in their houses. There was a blind man who used to walk to the masjid with a rope, tied from his house to the masjid. And when it would be rainy or windy, he couldn't make it. So he, despite being given the permission in Islam to pray at his home, he said, Ya Rasulullah, could you come and pray in my home? So when I pray there in this bad weather, I don't feel guilty. He went and he prayed at his house. So this man said, come and pray at this masjid. Rasulullah said, I'm in travel. When I come back, I'll pray at that masjid. And when Rasulullah was returning from his travel, Jibreel alayhi salam, angel Gabriel came and confronted him, and he gave to him the revelation from Allah, La taqum fihi abada. You're not going to stand in that place at all. لَمَسْجِدٌ أُسِّسَ عَلَى التَّقْوَى مِنْ أَوَّلِ يَوْمٍ أَحَقُّ أَن تَقُومَ فِيهِ. The masjid that have been founded for purity and sacredness and the fear of Allah, for the protection of Allah, are where you should be standing. فِيهِ رِجَالٌ يُحِبُّونَ أَن يَتَطَهَّرُوا. What is a masjid of taqwa? A masjid of taqwa is where people are consciously, continuously striving for internal purity. That's where you need to be. And so that masjid was demolished. It was titled Masjid Dirar, the masjid of harm. It was destroyed. Brothers and sisters, I ask of you, knowing what the dua a pilgrim makes and the importance of upholding the sacredness of a masjid, what thoughts, what actions, what practices, what ideas are we bringing to Allah's house? Is there even a red line anymore, or is that something which is a thing of the past? You can watch on CNN a segment where a lady speaks about being grouped in Hajj. She's making tawaf and someone's touching her. People are robbed by the Kaaba. People are harmed by the Kaaba. Why? Because no one no longer prays for the houses of Allah, nor do we uphold purity in the houses of Allah. We have brought vice into Allah's house when we were supposed to take goodness from Allah's house to the world. How can we change this world when we're bringing the evils into the houses of Allah? Shame. I remember when I was in Hajj in 2001 or 2, a pregnant lady left the bathroom in the middle of night in Mina, and someone thought she was wearing a pouch, and he slit her stomach open. With what intention do you go to Allah's house? I need to ask myself that standing here right now. Because if I'm not worthy for Allah's house is more pure, I should leave. I have no right to be here. Especially when I'm determined to bring vice into Allah's house. If we don't change course, my fellow Muslims, and if we don't do that quickly, we will lose everything. An eggshell is nothing without the egg. It's only garbage. There once was moral consciousness. There was guilt. There was fear. There once was a caravan leaving from Syria for Hajj. Back in the days, there was no visas or passports. Just go. And while the caravan was going, there was a well-known man in the town who was a drunkard, always drinking. And they said to him, Ya Fulan, oh so-and-so, ta'al ma'ana nahujj, let's go Hajj together. And he was drinking, and he put his bottle down, and he said, me? You want me to go for Hajj? Look at me, look what I'm doing. I'm drinking, I'm an alcoholic. He said, come, let's go Hajj. So he grabbed some of his stuff and he stuffed the bottle in his jacket. Now the caravan is going. And while the caravan's moving, here he is. Yes, alhamdulillah, subhanallah. MashaAllah, mashallah, astaghfirullah. And they saw him. They caught him. They pulled him off the caravan. They beat him. Said, you're going to Allah's house like this? You know, when are you going to change? Allah brings problems in our lives so we can change. No one wants to change. Oh Allah, change my problem. Oh Allah, fix my marriage. Oh Allah, guide my children. But me, I don't want to change, Allah. I'm perfect the way I am. Make my haram rizq halal in your book. Make my evils on others permissible in your book. Protect me from the violations of people's rights on the day of judgment, because I'm good. I'm good. So this man reaches Mecca. He reaches the Haram. And he walks towards the masjid. And it was that moment that it hit him. You are not worthy for entering into this house. How dare you? He's telling himself, how dare you go inside there? Look at you. And so he stood by the walls, exterior walls of the masjid. He did not enter it for 3 days. He stood by the wall, put his head, and he cried and he cried. They said there was a pool of tears. And as people came for the pilgrimage, they saw him crying. They stopped, they held the wall, and they cried also. But today, I do what I want to do. I do what I want to do in Allah's house. Because who is there to stop me? Where are those people gone? I swear by Allah, that drunkard is better than I any given day. They were the true Muslims. May Allah make us true to Himself. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Allah khair. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. So brothers and sisters in Islam, the season of Hajj is a reminder, an opportunity, a blessing for all Muslims. Take out of your mind this is only for Hajis. Hajis do not perform Eid. The world round performs Eid prayer. This is a collaboration of representation and effort for one thing tonight we're talking about. Restoring the sanctity of Allah's house around the world. Starting from my masjid here today. I call on each of us today, in this sacred month, this sacred season, in this sacred house, to reevaluate what I am doing here, what I am bringing here, what I am spreading here, what I am performing here, what am I committing to here, what am I circulating here, what am I normalizing here, and what am I demonstrating here. For I swear by Allah, if you have the right love and respect, Allah will grant you the true love and respect. There once was a grave digger who had the opportunity to go to Hajj. He didn't make any money. People gave him something as bakshish. He would get. One day he went to Hajj. He performed the Hajj. He went to Medina Munawwara. And he said to himself, you know what? I want to stay here. It's the most beautiful place. I want to just stay here. He had utmost respect. Today, Hujjaj, and I'm sorry, I'm a Canadian, but I'll tell you, Americans are somewhat the most arrogant Hujjaj I've ever seen. Because they think, I paid my money. And you will see a 90-year-old from Burma or Bangladesh walking miles to come to the Haram. And here we're complaining about the size of the bed in the Hilton Hotel. I've been doing this for 20 years, alhamdulillah. Sad. He had love. He said, Allah, you chose me. You allowed me. I'm so grateful. I want to stay here. So after Asr prayer, he went to sleep in the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In his dream, the Rawdah, the grave of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the gate opens. The gate opens and the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam comes out of the gate. And he goes up to him in his dream and wakes him up and asks him, what are you doing here? He goes, you know what, Ya Rasulullah, I just want to stay here. He said, no, go back. You'll come back. Go back. You will come back. And so when he woke up, he grabbed his stuff and he went back home. And every year, someone or the other whose relative he would be burying would say, go do Hajj for my relative. Go do Hajj for my relative. Please go do Hajj for them. The Allah who gives the means isn't the one who will give you the permission just because you have the means. Allah grants permission for you and I to be here today. Allah grants permission for you and I to come to the masjid today. Allah grants permission for us to go to His house. Let us not think ever that it's because of who I am that I can do this. One of the scholars in his last few years in Medina Munawwara saw a dream that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came out of his grave and he started walking. And so he went and he caught the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, where are you going? This is your resting place. Where are you going? He said, I'm leaving here. He said, why are you leaving here? He said, because of the continuous commotion that's happening outside my grave, I cannot rest. There's a verse in the Rawdah, in Riyadh al-Jannah, as you walk to give salam. Keep your voices down by the Prophet ﷺ. And here we are taking pictures and selfies. In the dream, the Prophet ﷺ said the pictures are annoying him. The constant flashes and disrespect of the grave is annoying him. For God's sake, stop it. It was circulated amongst the pilgrims that year. Respect Medina, respect Mecca. But where is the respect? You go to Vegas and take a picture on the Strip. You go to New York, you go to Buffalo, New York and take a picture at Niagara Falls. Why not take a selfie with the Kaaba? Why not take a selfie with the grave of Rasulullah ﷺ? Now that's the priority. Standing there and saying, As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Rasulullah, and thanking him is a thing of the past. We are causing pain to ourselves today, brothers and sisters. We have ruined things for ourselves. No one has ruined it for us. This is about taking a picture. What about all the other stuff that are happening in Allah's house? That is why I will tell you and myself what Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu used to say when he used to stand up for the khutbah. He would say 3 words and start the prayer. Ittaqullah, ittaqullah, ittaqullah. Fear Allah, revere Allah. Consider Allah in your daily affairs. It was during the Hajj of Rasulullah ﷺ that the Prophet ﷺ was in his camel and he made his way to Arafah. And with him was Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. And as they got into Arafah and all the people are gathering, Ibn Abbas was a boy, he was a young kid. And so his eyes started wandering. A lot of people, gender mixing. His eyes started wandering. Rasulullah ﷺ said, oh my boy, if you can control your eyes today, Allah will give you the ability to control your eyes forever. This is the day of Arafah. Control your eyes here. Don't follow your emotions, your lusts and desires. Focus on yourself today. If I'm coming to the house of Allah and my eyes are everywhere, if I'm coming to the house of Allah, my words are everywhere, if I'm coming to the house of Allah, my vice is being spread anywhere and everywhere, what am I doing? It is during the Hajj season that Allah revealed, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. This day I perfected for you your religion and completed my favor on you and chosen for you Islam as your religion. So brothers and sisters, let us make an intention today that in this sacred month of Ashhur Hajj, the month of Hajj, we are going to restore, insha'Allah, the sanctity of Allah's houses here in our neighborhood, in our nation, in our world, and in Makkah Mukarramah. Ameen. That we are going to bring back the love and respect, the awe and the fear into the houses of Allah. That we will only be instruments of good and honesty and truthfulness and servants of Allah, and not instruments of vice, evil, wickedness, and the spread of immorality and shamelessness. I will end with one verse of the Holy Quran. And this is a reminder to all of us, starting with myself. If we don't restore the sanctity, Let this warning, verse number 114 of chapter 2, serve as a reminder for us all. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ مَنَعَ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ أَنْ يُذْكَرَ فِيهَا اسْمُهُ وَسَعَى فِي خَرَابِهَا أُولَئِكَ مَا كَانَ لَهُمْ أَنْ يَدْخُلُوهَا إِلَّا خَائِفِينَ لَهُمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا خِزْيٌ وَلَهُمْ فِي الْآخِرَةِ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. And who is more unjust? Allah is saying, you talk about injustices, the most unjust person is this person. The one who prevents people from the houses of Allah. Their actions are so bad that people don't want to come to the house of Allah. They are the greatest zalimeen. They're the greatest transgressors. That His name should be remembered in those masjids. And they actually strive to ruin the reputations of masjid. As for those people, it will not be proper for them that they should have entered except with fear. Those people should really watch out, Allah is saying. Allah is warning them, you better watch out. Because they will have disgrace in this world and they shall have chastisement in the hereafter. We send salutations and blessings upon Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who built the first masjid in Islam, who taught us how to treat the masjids of Islam, and who taught us how to build through the masjids of Islam. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad abdika wa rasulika an-nabi al-ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa baraka wa sallama tasliman kathiran kathira. اللهم اغفر لنا جميع ما مضى من ذنوبنا واعصمنا فيما بقين وارزقنا عملا ذاتيا ترضى به عنا. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. اللهم اغفر للحاج ولمن استغفر له الحاج. اللهم اجعل حجهم حجا مبرورا عملا مقبولا وسعيا مشكورا وتجارة لن تبور. آمين يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. آمين يا رب العالمين. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. Please ensure that our lines are straight. Stand shoulder to shoulder. The edge of our heel should be on the edge of the line. Please ensure the line in front of us is complete from both ends before we form a second line. There are many empty spots. Please move in quickly, inshallah, and fill the gaps. Jazakumullah khairan.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. Please ensure the edge of our heels on the back part of the line. Allahu Akbar.